No, this is one of the most critical subject.
Yeah.
In fact, everything is critical, but this is most unpredictable and riskier than risk management. Because everything, every resource on the project is predictable except human resource.
Yeah.
So what new news your team member or your management or your customer is going to give you, you never know.
Seriously.
So
Every time behavior is different.
every time behavior is different, and it very much depend upon that how we are behaving.
Yes.
And the thing is that we can't see that how we are behaving. So
Correct.
even we ourselves are so unpredictable. Many times we do which we are not like tend to do. We do not want to do, but we still do that.
I mean, I'm the biggest sufferer because I'm handling a very huge team, and it is not only in one geography. It's 550 people are in my team, and it ranges from all qualification and experiences, right from ITI job inspector up to an MTech guy. So it's become very difficult to see that people they are so effective and efficient to deliver the output, and through the system only it is possible but it is totally unpredictable. I cannot predict anything.
Great. So you have 500 people with you. Let's
Yeah.
start our human resource management from here. Tell me how you have organized these
Yeah.
500 people.
See, we are operating from different locations all over India. So Pune is our headquarter. Bangalore, Chennai, Gurgaon, Nasik, Rudrapur, Coimbatore, and Pantanagar, Uttarakhand. So there are 7 to 8 locations where do we have laboratories, and basically that is our local office. And from there, within 100 kilometer or 150 kilometer, our people are working as a local, representative of our organization. So for recruiting these people, we use some references, internal references. We the first thing what I have done is I have created one branch manager at every location.
Okay.
So I make them understood how people are important and what sort of people. Only technical skill is technocrat people is not the requirement we have. We are going to provide services to the companies, manufacturers, and they will rely on our service quality, because there won't be any further check the parts we are going to check, because those parts will be going directly to the line. And the USP is that our customers, they are reducing their receiving inspection cost, because it's an operational integrity in a service we are offering to our client as a extended arm to our customers. Okay. So apart from this, what we test in the people is their attitude and approach.
No,
what level of background.
First thing I want to understand from you, how you have organized. How is there any hierarchy? Like, is there any or flat structure, or how?
Yes.
Track that what these people are doing, and they are able to do what they're supposed to do.
Correct. So what we do have, we have regional managers, and there are project managers, individual sites, the working sites.
Okay.
Customer X, customer Y, customer Z, and those supervisors, they bring all the regulation at the working site. So how they are doing, and these all low level, that is the ITI job inspectors, they report to the site supervisor or project leader.
Okay.
Means their attendance, their daily report, work reports, and everything. They do report to the site supervisor or project leader, And if they are operating, in different shifts, like A shift, B shift, or C shift, so we keep one supervisor in each shift. So this is the hierarchy.
Okay, so let me
And
understand. You
each,
have a center.
project manager or leader, they report to the regional manager.
Okay, you have a center
Yeah.
here, that is Pune, right? And there are other centers where there is
Yes.
a branch manager,
Correct.
right? There are some project sites
Correct. Yes.
where there is a project manager,
Absolutely.
and branch manager normally have
Yes.
people,
Yes.
the skilled people, right? When you recruit, they report to branch manager, right? And when a project starts, he
Yeah.
deploys these people to on this, right? Is this right?
Yes.
Okay, then these people report to project manager or supervisor. Is this correct?
Yes. Yes. Correct.
So
And
maybe the skilled
correct.
worker deployed here
Yes. And branch
reports
manager
to
reports to
supervisor
me. Branch man.
and
Yeah.
report to project manager. Branch manager
Yes.
reports to you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there are multiple branches.
Correct.
The same structure works.
Correct.
So
Yes.
am
Yes.
I? Just tell me if I am right. The project manager is is dependent on branch
Hmm.
manager to get the skilled resource. Is this right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes. Yes.
if PM needs some skilled resources, he approaches branch manager and asks him to provide some. So if he has, he will provide. If he doesn't have, then he will recruit the people and deploy here.
Correct. So branch manager, will interact with corporate HR department, and we have set up to all our branches. There is a local HR human resource providing agency, and they will send those candidates to branch manager to access them, to interview them and finalize them. Then these branch managers,
Will deploy the resources here.
they send the selected people to the respective 550 plus.
Right. And when the project is
We,
over, all
huh,
these workers will again go back and
yeah.
report to branch manager.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then they stay here till the time they get
Yeah.
some other project.
Correct. There are two kind of services. There is a continuous services, like all 26 days of the month we need to depute people at some customer
Right.
location or working site. There are some activities, those are call basis activities, like customer gives us intimation 48 hours before.
Okay.
And then we need to arrange the resources, to go to that site, particular site, perform inspection activities, and then they will come back based on the quantity of the lot or whatever the offerings is from the customer or the manufacturer, and then they report again to the local office. That is whatever task given, it is completed, they report it to the branch manager. If there is a project leader, then report comes to the project leader to the branch office, to the branch manager.
So it is like that. There is something ongoing work. Another is the short-term work,
Yeah.
and some are projects like this, which are
Correct.
long-term work.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
So your branch
Yes.
manager is basically a resource manager, if I can say.
Absolutely. Absolutely, sir.
Oh, great. So I think branch manager in the middle must be uh, facing a lot of challenges with respect to recruiting people, and project manager must be having some kind of tussle sometime with the branch manager.
Correct. Branch manager also looks or takes care of providing resources, administrative facilities, customer interaction, and branch manager reports me through MIS, Management Information Systems.
Okay.
So we have regular reviews for MIS, and they report to business to me. So actions planned, actions balance or pending, the causes of non-conforming activity and all these things. We have a structured MIS protocol,
System in place.
and this way they system in place, and they report to me.
Okay, great. So I think you have a very good, very well structured place, but there are challenges in this structure. I think we'll discuss some of these points in the coming coming slides. I think thanks for sharing of this.
My pleasure.
Okay, so human resource management is basically intended to use the people in the project to maximum extent, or actually effective use of the people basically, or the team members or any person who is connected with the project. Their effectiveness is important, and how we provide a facility or how we facilitate the things so that people become more effective, more productive. So there are 4 processes in this. One is human resource management, preparing a plan for human resource management, then acquiring the team, then developing the team and managing it. So planning talks about that how, when, what type of resources are required. Some work we have done in the scheduling part. Some work we will do. Their organization, how they are structured, who will report, what is the reporting relationship, who will do what, such kind of things. Acquiring will tell us that we get the people on board on the project based on the plan of the human resource management plan. The third is developing the project team, means helping team to groom skills in their skills. So upgrading their skills, creating an environment in which people can give their best. Okay, the overall people individual can work very productively, plus also they together work as a team and be much more productive than the individual. So that is what the development means: arranging training, creating environment, providing some communications tools and techniques, and facilitating so that people overall skills of the people upgrades during this time. And managing means looking at the development, that what are the things we are doing on the ground, then assessing that how much are they effective, and then providing feedback and helping them in maintaining their strong points and working on their weak points. One process is in planning process, and the other process is, other 3 processes are in the execution process. So if you see, in the dealing with the people is become most important during execution, and execution is the biggest phase in the project. And most of the time you will see that the process which are falling into execution, they are related to the people. Either it is human resource development management, it's a communication, or it is a stakeholder. So what we want to do in the planning? We have done some work in the scheduling to identify the resources required for the activities. Here we identify and document the roles which are required, the responsibility of each roles, what kind of skills are required. Though we have done some work related to this in scheduling as well. Then creating organization chart, as I asked you that what is the structure of the way you have you have structured your team of quite a big team, and without a structure it will not be sustainable. So creating an organization of the human resource, preparing a staffing management plan which tells who will come on board what time and go off board at what time. Identifying their training needs and providing trainings. and putting up a system of reward and recognition so that it will help maintaining the motivation of the people. So you see there are some chart and position description, basically the organize how you going to organize, what is the relationship. This is what we will do mainly. There is second tool is networking. I'm not sure how much networking in the planning is required, but in the execution, when you're acquiring the team, the networking is really very important too. For some reason, this networking is not giving in the acquiring the team. It is the planning which is where the networking is provided, organizational theory and etc. So these are the few things which we do. We create a hierarchical structure. I think you all would have created in your team who is reporting to whom and what. Not necessary that all the time the organization chart should be hierarchical. In many organizations there is a very flat structure, but they are, and even then they are grouped into some kind of departments and other things, so that you know that who is doing what, who is responsible for what. Another thing is that the responsibility assignment matrix, which is important because you identify all the activities in the project and then assign it to the people like this. This person is on schedule, he will be informed. On FRD, it should be informed. On architect, he will be consulted. On design, he will be accountable. So such kind of chart we prepare, which will make it clear that who is accountable for what, who is responsible for what, who will provide the information, who will review, who will be informed, keep informed. Such kind of things we normally create. We define in responsibilities and matters, and therefore it becomes very important. And why it becomes important? Because you might have heard this story about of 4 people. Might have, I'm not sure, but you might have heard about this. There are 4 people, and they are called everybody, somebody, anybody, nobody. So once upon a time, there was a work to be accomplished in an important project, and everybody was responsible for this task, right? So what happens when if task is given to everybody? When a task is given to everybody, everybody understands that somebody will do it. Because task is given to everybody, anybody can do it. But you know what, at the end of the day, nobody will do it. And therefore, there will be, because the work will not happen, so somebody will get angry because it was everybody's job and nobody did it. Everybody thought that anybody could do it, but nobody realizes that everybody can do it. So that is what happened. Everybody blames somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done. You know, similar kind of things is happening in with just finished elections. Some parties have got a really I will say a historical defeat. And what they happen after that, it's either a blame game or showing that I am accountable, but nobody accepts that. So at the end of the day, if you see, you ask the people that who was at the end of the day accountable for such kind of things, Even if they know or don't know, the things will remain dicey. And you can understand if the things remain dicey, what will happen actually. So whenever responsibility of task is on everybody or somebody or anybody or nobody, the task at the mercy of the God, and only RAM can save it. Okay, it's also called Rasi matrix. Responsible, accountable, consulting, and inform. So it is RACI basically. Sometimes it is also RASI. It can be something else also. It could stand for support, informed. I don't understand much difference between support and consulting actually. This is accountable, this is responsible. And this is also called responsibility assignment matrix. So if responsibility assignment matrix is not there, you can understand that there will be many such tasks which anybody can do, but nobody will do. So networking is a very important tool, but I will say this tool is much more important in acquiring the team than actually planning. You can plan the people, but getting those people on board is really, really tough job. And as you said, it is always difficult. And networking is the best tool to get people, required people on the project. So what we get at the output of the human resource plan, we get a human resource management plan, which contains roles and responsibilities, authority, responsibility, competencies, organization chart, a resource plan, which we also call it staffing management plan, how the staff will be acquired, internally or externally, who come internally and who will be from external. The resource calendar, that is availability of the people. You know, we saw in the scheduling also there was a input resource calendar, because schedule depend upon the who is available at what time. We also have to document the training needs of the people. At least we should have a structure. Hello. 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 Got it? Able to hear? Yes. So we talk about training needs. So we need to identify, as in the beginning, we understand that if there is a architectural problem in the project, the problem actually lies in the resource acquisition. So you got an architect who was not fitting to the requirement of the project, maybe a less skilled person. What we supposed to do at that time, we supposed to identify the gap and understand the training needs of that person, and then arranging that training so that the person will become competent and become or equate the skill of the required person on the project. It's very difficult to get the people with the required skills. But we can this may not be in our hand, but what is in our hand to measure the difference between expectations and actual skills the person have, and then providing trainings and other development facilities to build up the skills of this person to meet the project requirement. We often fail to do this, and therefore we find problems later in the work. The quality work doesn't happen because the person is really not capable of doing that, and he's not really responsible for it because he doesn't know. We are responsible because we didn't arrange the training for him, or we didn't arrange the other facility which he may need, maybe a mentor, maybe a supporter, maybe a senior person's oversight. Many things can happen to meet to fill this gap, and that is what we're supposed to do. So identifying training needs or other supporting requirements and document them into the staffing management plan. Definitely put up a reward and recognition system as well, and it should be fair, and the required behavior should be rewarded on time, not later or not earlier. Now, once you have prepared the plan, which could be a little easier to prepare, but the real challenge is in acquiring the people as per the plan. And this is real stuff. Most unpredictable and requires a lot of negotiations with the other groups, including HR. Now, I'm talking about the project manager. Project manager, this is what the PM, who is in Bhagesh case talking to branch manager, and then branch manager talking to HR. So we are talking about the role of this person, that how this person get the people from branch manager or from HR. Better the negotiation skills the project manager has, or better the networking skills project manager has, the chances of getting the required skills are high. Many times we may not get the required people or required skilled people. At that time we need to identify alternatives. At that time we need to identify the alternatives and see how differently we can do this. So pre-assignment, negotiations, acquisitions, and virtual team are normally the tools which are used. They are all soft aspect of the, except the pre-assignments, and it is important that it is less science and more art. And what we get is that because the people are on board, they are assigned all the tasks. Now, how the enterprise environmental factor actually influence this, the availability, competency, what is available in the organization, what are the policies of the HR or the administrative people to get the people, locations. The person is available in the organization but not at the location we want or you want. In that case, maybe the virtual team, they work in place. Up to days, the virtual teams are very common. Organization structure also make a lot of difference or lot of influence, a lot in recruiting the people or for the project. Pre-assignment is the thing which is in the time of bidding the project, some kind of skills are already committed. So many times the customer asks that, okay, give me resumes. Sure, tell me that you have at least 3 people of these skills. Only then the project will come. Okay, it becomes very critical. Customer want to understand that you have that kind of skills, and they will be allocated to the project. So they are committed. So pre-assigned. what is project manager's job here is to ensure that these pre-assigned or the pre-allocated or committed resources should come on the project as soon as possible. Second is negotiation. I will say negotiation go very closely with hand in hand with networking. In fact, the networking works better, and as if you have a better networking, the negotiation skills will not be required as much. But networking is also negotiation. Networking is give and take. Now, if you want to have a team on a project which is required, you need to know who are the people internally or externally who have such kind of people. If you have good relations with them, there is a higher chances you get people from them. I normally give an example here. Suppose there is a resource manager. He has a resource. There are two project managers. Okay, this is PM1 and PM2. Both have the project which required this resource, but resource is only one. Both reach out to resource manager to get the resource. Now let's look at this. PM1 is a friend of resource manager, and PM2 has no relationship with resource manager. It don't know, no understanding. It is the first time resource manager is interacting with project manager. What do you think where this resource will go? In the environment, everything else is neutral. Tell me where the resource will go, to PM1 or to PM2? Obviously PM1. But suppose PM1 is not friend of resource manager, but they sometimes share some tea together in the canteen or in the pantry. Maybe they have gone for some food, but they're not a very close friend or not such friend, but they often sometimes have share a tea together. What do you think when where the resource can go? PM1 has sometimes shared a coffee with resource manager. PM2 has no relationship. There is no history as such. It's still PM1. Anybody has a different opinion? Okay. Now let's talk about PM1 has not shared any coffee or not friend. Maybe through another person who is friend of these two people, resource manager and PM1, they have met sometimes and shaked hand. That's all. They have shaked hand. Sometimes they know each other, maybe in that sense, I can see. What do you think this resource will go? between RM1, between resource manager and PM1, there is a common friend. Because of that, they have shook hands some time back. Still PM1. Okay. But suppose even that is not there. RM resource manager and PM1 have passed through, seen each other, they know by face, they have never talked to each other as such, but they know each other, they have seen their face, and resource manager knows that PM1 is around and he is somewhere. So, but they have never shook any hand, or they never like talked as such, but they have seen their faces and they know each other. But the RM resource manager doesn't know PM2 altogether. Where you think the resource can still go? Still PM1. You see the networking, that kind of thing. Even if you have seen someone, if you have around some people, even a person, you are around here in this circle, even they have seen you, still they tend to favor you. You are right, actually. Ideally, the resource manager should look into the need of PM1 and PM2 and see that which one is more important, and then give the resource, and all these things should happen, or whomsoever gone first and that. But the problem is that the world is not ideal. That's the problem. What supposed to happen ideally? So reference means, you know, reference, what is reference? You have a common person between two people. And Ajay is in sales, may be very much clear that if you go to a new customer through a reference and without a reference, whom customer will prefer? With a reference, because there is a connection. So we look around that if we get a reference, it becomes life becomes much easier. And the simple reason is that there is some community. What is the dynamics here actually? The simple thing is that it works as a networking. What is networking? The word is reciprocative. Give and take. You give and take. You take and give. So when something is common, when you know each other, there is a tendency that if you give the person something, there's chances you get something back in future. And that's the dynamics which work here. If I favor a person, he will favor me tomorrow. I help him out in a more decent manner. If I help the other person today, there is a fair chances that he may help me. He may help me tomorrow, may or may not, but there are chances. While the totally unknown person is not in this category. Now, if this person also knows, then we see that which have more closeness, because the chances of then becomes comparative. So networking also always work. You can stay focused with your work, but until unless you leave the work for 1 hour or so and meet different people in your organization, keep shaking hands with several people, offer them coffee, bring together, do some kind of work which everybody's responsibility, but nobody does it. If you tend to take this and prepare a call and try to bring a team who bring together. This team may be formed by the people who have passion to do something without any compulsion. And definitely they will come from different background, different places, and you get attached with the several people, and working together will bring all of you very close. And that is what I call, or this is called volunteerism. So if you volunteer for something which is not doing something which is not anybody in the organization doing, but if somebody does it, it will help everybody. If you volunteer for such things, call for volunteers there, prepare, like call for a team, and then work together. You will see that how the team dynamics work. Even these people go away, they will remember you for all the time. And if you approach them anytime tomorrow, they tend to help you. Okay, so getting required resource on the project is challenging task, but networking and negotiations, in fact, networking will make it much more easier. And therefore, I feel that networking is more fit in the acquiring the team than actually the planning the team. Negotiations, if you have a good networking, you need to do less negotiations. If you have a bad networking team, you have to do a lot of negotiations. Networking is low, negotiations have to be high. Networking is high, negotiations will go down. You don't need to do negotiations. Okay, here the acquisition means they say taking people from outside the organization. As you, Bhagesh was just explaining, the branch manager has to go to the corporate HR and get people on board. Then it comes to the virtual team. Many times you may not have the required skill even through the HR, but he is available on the other side. And especially when the high skilled resources are there, they are less in numbers, suppose architect, suppose designers, and then you back for their time, maybe a half or maybe a 1 person shared in 2 projects at different 2 sites, and the virtual team come into picture in that way. Virtual teams are common today because the communication means are becomes easier, and it is easier to talk and to the long distance. So there could be various reasons that you don't have expertise in the same area. The people have limited disability, people do not want to move, their mobility is limited, they want to, the other compulsions, cost saving on the cost, and do not travel unnecessarily. These various reasons may make you to produce the virtual teams, and then ensure that they should have an effective communication means so that the communication will continue in that. You get project staff assignments, resource calendars. Now, developing project team means building, motivating, and leading the team. People are skilled and they love challenges. So the project manager's challenge is that provide challenges to the team to keep them interested in the project. So whenever we have some skill to be hired, some resource to be hired, there are 2 chances. The possibility of getting a person exactly of that skills are less. You get a higher skilled person or lower skilled person. When you get a higher skilled person, the problems are different. When you get a lower skilled person, the challenges are different. When you get a higher skilled person, this providing challenges could be a very challenging task, because the person who will come for him it will be a simple job, and he may be looking for some challenging job which you may not be able to give. So many times I have seen project managers, they need all top class resources in their project. You know, they are inviting a lot of problems for them, because top class resources, when they come on the board, if all are top class, they will be competing for the challenging work, and it becomes very, very challenging for the project manager to manage them. We should have a very good mix of the people. Some people are definitely experienced, but people should have, those people are good which have little less skills than the project needs, so that they feel challenged in reaching and meeting those requirements what the project needs. A bigger gap can also be a problem. However, a small gap will be very helpful. Provide feedback and build competence. So what is important here is use your interpersonal skills, provide trainings for team building activities. So team building activities are not training as such. I use 60-40. So what is 60 actually? 60 is less skilled people. 60 is competent. They're equal to the project requirement. 40 an average. In fact, it should be the opposite. It should be the opposite, but let me tell you, the challenges are different, as I said. We need to understand that what kind of team we have and what kind of activities, training and team building activities we need to do in the team. We need to understand what happens actually when we have, see, currently you have 60-40, okay, 60 competent and these are average, okay, who need to upgrade their skills to meet the project need. There you have a less number of people, but when you have the opposite side, suppose that it is 40-60, you know, we're going to save cost of 20 people on 20 people because they will be less costly, right? Now a portion of this cost should go into training. This doesn't happen. A portion of this has to be planned for this. See, we have less experienced people, but if we do not have a strategy how to upgrade their skills to this, we will face problems. On the other side, if you have 60-40, we have to see that how to continue keep giving them challenges. That will become a challenge. And there, if you cannot give them challenges, their interest level will come down. When their interest level come down, there two things will happen. Either they will look for exit. We are looking for going to the place where they can get more challenging work, or they will become lousy. आराम पसंद. Now both the situations are problematic. I think I tell you 30% will look for exit, 70% will go here. Now this is a problem, because when you have a challenging assignment, these are the people who are bulky actually. It will be difficult to move because they have become used to comfort zone. Now bringing them out of the comfort zone will be very difficult. Yeah, attrition will increase. I say that the 60%, the 30% people will look for exit, but 70% will become lousy, become work less than their competency, because it's a comfort job. And if you got some challenging assignment, if you got some challenging situation where you have less money, you have less time, you have some challenging situation, bringing these people from their comfort zone would becomes very difficult. And these people who were actually asset for you become kind of burden, because they will not work as the competency they have. Because all of a sudden they will not come out from their comfort zone. The only thing which we can do is do not allow them to go into the comfort zone and keep giving them challenging assignment, and therefore opposite is better. Yeah, sunk cost will go on. The people are there, they're competent.
I would like to add here
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Well, there is a significant reason behind this. Why I use 60-40% ratio for skilled and semi-skilled people. Basically, what I do is, with 60% ratio of skilled people, I have a definite career path for them. Once they, perform duties on a particular project with a certain time frame, I recommend them, to become a supervisor, maybe on the same project or two different projects in the same city. So they get different challenges, and these people, those who are less competent or average people, they get training under these trained people, and they move to competent people level. So this is a cycle for us, and why we need competency more 60% is because this is a skilled task, and like I said, customer do not inspect parts once we certify it. If I would have opted the other way, that is 40% competent people and 60% non-competent people, so there was a risk, for getting customer complaints, cost of poor quality, debits, and again, the blame games in between the teams. So to avoid this,
Yeah, Bhagesh, I understand your point. I understand your point, which is absolutely right. But the thing is that how do you organize the whole team? That depends actually. The strategy has to be different. There are two advantages. There are multiple advantages of keeping 40-60 or even 30-70. I will say the significant advantage that as you just said, you move these people to supervisor, right? So what you are doing, you are bringing them here because they are not supervisor. So when you move them to supervisor, they actually come to less competent people because they are not supervised. They will learn supervising job and then become supervisor. Or you have made them you have put them into supervisor role and say become supervisor, right? So what you are doing, you are pushing them to a more competent area where they are not competent fully. See, we are talking about a little less competent. If lot of less competency gap is bigger, then it becomes a problem. So gap has to be small, which is easy to upgrade, and then you have to have a strategy that how one person, a competent person, can deal with 3 incompetent people and make him competent along with him. So that is there are various strategies to be formed, and the strategy has to be different actually. And we need to see that the cost we are saving on these 20 people, a portion of that must go into upskilling these people, and definitely you will going to move this person into again the higher role, which means he is in the less competent person. So you have a career path means I keep pushing people into the less competent area, or in the area which is higher, which need higher competency, but the person it doesn't have that much. So we are putting this person, the person in this role, he is competent, but here it is less competent. So you keep moving the people from here to here. So basically you are moving these people into this area. And that is what's supposed to
So
happen.
what we do, sir, is normally whenever yeah, we go for KPIs, as a learning perspective. We mark certain numbers. The person should keep learning. So while he is working as a competent job inspector, we also offer him training. How to make a progress to the supervisory level. What are the roles and responsibilities of the supervisor? And then after a test or or interview, we recommend him, because he is having those particular technical capabilities. We make him learn how to interact with the customer, how to interact with the team, how to get your work done, and then we promote them. So by that time he acquire those skills and become supervisor. And once he becomes supervisor, he's been replaced by the semi-competent or semi-skilled person in that team. So what it gives me as a cushion, I can spend less amount on creating number of supervisors, and I on a individual projects. So I give them a task of handling 2-3 nearby projects. So I reduce that expenditures and invest them for training of the people and team building activities. So
Which is absolutely right.
these are my tactics I'm doing. Yeah.
Which is right actually. There is because these things. See, if you have a strategy to handle them and keep moving them upward direction or in the direction where they need to learn, then it is fine, absolutely. So basically idea is that the person
Okay.
should always be in an area where he has to build up his competence. He is not saturated there.
Correct.
So saturation
Absolutely.
create problems like this. Either people will exit their
Yes.
discomfort,
Yes.
or
Exits.
they will
Yes.
become lousy.
Yes. Correct.
So what the important thing here is that we are saying team assessment as a team performance assessment, because we are doing so much activities. Our output is that how people are doing. So interpersonal skills, you know, that kind of like conflict management, decision making, negotiations, all these things are very, very important for the people. I think all HR trainings come into this, and they are required for proper gelling and working as a team. Trainings required for improving the individual skills. It could be formal, informal in that sense. Like you said, one senior person is helping other two people to become competent. So these kind of things are more informal. It could be classroom, it could be online, it could be on the job, it could be like field kind of trainings, it could be mentoring and coaching. They are all come under training, which any activity which help individual to build up his capability, build up his competency is come under training. Okay, in a team building activities, when the people come together, they have to work together, and we normally say I think it's a Bruce Tuckman model, which I earlier explained, that when the team comes together in a project, people come and disperse. So how, when they come, they go through 5 stages. From forming, they come from different background, different places, and form a team. They storm because they come from different background, therefore they have more conflicts, and they often move into kind of like having different views on the same points. But over a period of time, they understand each other and start normalizing, and which is called norming stage. And then once they normalize, they understand each other, they adjust them with the behavior of the other people. There is a time to perform, and once the project is over, they again go back to their homes or other different projects. The matter here is that how you facilitate, what activities you bring, how you bring people together, in such a way that the storming phase could be smaller. So how fast you can move from forming to norming is what your skill is. So as a project manager, you should understand that this stage should be short in period. They quickly move to norming, and then so that you get more time for performance. Now, many teams come into storming, and because if the project manager is not so capable and it doesn't participate or does not do conflict management kind of decision making kind of things, then the storming phase could be very longer and many times just not end. It will impact the project very badly. So we need to implement such kind of rules, like some kind of ground rules, which is often used in meetings. Ground rules are something like that one person will speak at a time. First you raise the hand before you speak. Another thing is that before you speak, you have to paraphrase or repeat what the person just before you said. So you are clear that what the other person said before you express your views. So these are the things which are ground rule, which help different diversified people come together and have a meaningful dialogue. It is mainly required in the initial time. When people get used to the ground rule, they start following the ground rule. So first some moderations are required at the initial time. Co-location is one of the way. When the people are sit together, they talk a lot of in an informal manner, and therefore resolve many things without any formal discussion. For virtual team, you need to see that time to time they come together to understand each other. There are some psychometric and various kind of tools are available which help us to assess the people's capability or people's behavior. Now, the question is there that how effective they are, how much you trust them. This is all is a different kind of discussion altogether. You should have a reward and recognition system so that a expected behavior can be awarded. You should not wait till the end of the project. On the various milestones, you should recognize the good performance and award them. Your reward system should not favor the people, should not give reward to the people which is not expected. Unexpected behavior is rewarded, it will give a different kind of precedence and it will spoil the culture of rewards. It should be sensitive to the culture, because different culture, something called reward in this culture may not be a reward in other cultures. We should be very careful about it as well, especially when we are dealing with the multinational teams. So team performance assessment, we are taking so many measures to improve the capability of the project people as a team, and therefore we should assess their effectiveness. How are they really effective or not? And if they're not, we should make changes. We should tune our processes or the actions we have taken. The last thing is managing a project team is about appraising them, providing them constructive feedback. Constructive feedback means providing the feedback with the support so that person can work on their weaknesses and keep their strengths. Resolving conflict is one of the important things in managing the project team. So as usual, it is a execution process, so change request is common. What we need to do here is we should keep our eyes and ears open so that we hear and see what is happening and take action accordingly. We do performance appraisal of the people on a regular basis, not only at the year end. I normally suggest that it should be an informal or formal feedback session every quarter so that the person should know where he has to improve and what he is doing well. Most of the time this is not clear, and that therefore people keep doing wrong things or things which are not expected and do not focus on something which they are supposed to do. So provide constructive feedback so that people can work on it with the support system. Provide support. If you give some negative feedback, provide a support to work on it. If a feedback is given without any support, it is useless. Work performance report, how the people are doing, is one of the output, one of the inputs. Then we talk about we should also address the conflicts. As we say, storming phase should be as less as possible. It all depends how proactively project managers take conflicts in and proactively resolve them. So there are some methods which we will discuss little later. Some interpersonal, some leadership skills, all we will discuss little later. The output is the change request. What is change request here? That you find out some issues in the when we're managing teams, you issue change requests for the changing in the processes, changing in the maybe a reward system, changing in the way you have managed the team. Team structure can be changed depending upon your learning. Okay, so now there are few theories I will take you through, but I think it is around 7:30, 7:40. So I will say let's take a 10 minutes break. Come by 7:40, 7:50. Yeah. Now I give you some understanding of some of the theories and concepts of team development. Various psychologists and various practitioners have come and they have given their own understanding, and many of them are quite popular. Especially manufacturing sector is little more organized, and therefore you can find such theories are more in implementation there, especially in the manufacturing sector, which was growing up in the early 20s. These kind of research happened, and different people have come out with different ideas, but most of these concepts are quite popular. The one of them is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow's has said there are 5 things which people normally look forward in a job, in a working job. This is more related to the job as such. So how to manage workers in your team or manage officers or managers. So he says that there are some basic needs which are lower level needs. We can say they are physiological, safety and social. So in an organization, some like salary, food, etc. are provided. They are very basic needs. Do not give much motivation to the people. Safety needs, security in the organization, safety. These are basic things. We also call it in the coming up concepts that we have basic hygiene in the system. So these are expected, but they do not motivate. Right? In your home, cleanliness is expected, but that's not the reason for you being in the home. There are people in the home which actually the reasons for you being in the home. But you are being in the home, the cleanliness is expected. It is something like that. What people aspire for is self-esteem and self-actualization. What is self-esteem? The self-respect, the recognition, being appreciated in front of other people, that they are competent and high, excellent people, kind of thing. Other is self-actualization, is the sense of growing. So everyone who is in the company or in the organization look to grow and remain motivated till the time he feels that he is growing. So while these two, which are a higher level needs, we also call them the motivation factors. So these two things are more motivational factor while they are basic hygienes in the system. They are expected, but they do not motivate people to do something or go beyond their or exceed their limits actually. These are the things which are actually make sense. So if you see, if you have heard the self-respect of a person, 1, 2, 3, these three things do not matter how good they are. The person will still quit. If person feel have an understanding that in this organization he cannot grow any further, his motivation will go down. Even if he doesn't quit the organization, he will be always be working less than what he can do, because there is no motivation. The second another theory is called McGeogh's theory, and McGeogh's theory, there are two theories in that. One is theory X and theory Y, which are opposite to each other. Theory X says that the worker or the employees in an organization do not want to work. They are very selfish, they're self-centered, lazy. If you want to get the work done from them, you need to control them, you need to watch them, you need to keep an eye on them and keep and see that they do the job. The Britisher style of work. I mean, Britisher means that you can say it is like the way they were ruling the world some time back. Not today's. Theory Y is opposite to this. Say the people are motivated, willing, they actually want to do a very good job. They want to achieve, they are achievement oriented. What manager has to do is just to create an environment in which the people can do so. There is a theory Z also, which is similar to theory Y. So as I said in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the Herzberg also says the same thing. So their motivation factor, their hygiene. So he says pay, their physiological needs. Basically, if you see their physical needs. Conditions, boss attitude. These are all hygienes. The lower level needs, social acceptance, food, pay, salary, etc. While the motivation factors are the high level needs. That is the achievement and self-actualization, and worker have a sense of personal growth and responsibility. The same which Maslow has defined as a high level need, Herzberg says they are motivators. There is an expectancy theory, there is an achievement theory. Now, expectancy theory says that if you have a reward system, until the time people think that the reward given to them is, or the reward given to them is meeting their expectation, they remain motivated. Otherwise, they lose the motivation. And So achievement theory says the people are normally motivated by three things: the achievement, power, and affiliation. So getting accepted in the social circle, one, the power which they can exercise, and the achievement means a growth in the organization. These three things are mainly motivated for the people. Now let's look at the leadership style. There are various leadership style. Which leadership style is good, which is not good? We need to look into this. Maybe some leadership styles are good in excess, bad in small quantity. Some leadership styles are bad in excess and good in small quantity. But sometimes you need to use some kind of balancing act in this. So what is autocratic? Autocratic is mainly a Hitler style that I have said that nobody else has to put his opinion. It's final, the king's style. Second is a consultative or participative. Yeah, but what kind of mix? That's important. Mix is better, but what kind of mix? Some kind of things which we need not to use all together, but we have to identify when what is required. So consultative and participative, that normally talk about that whomsoever people are in the team, the manager normally take a view that he talks to each other, take their opinion and then take a decision. So it's just opposite to autocratic. Autocratic doesn't take any opinion. Without opinion doesn't go ahead. Decisions here are fast but unstable. Here the decisions are slow but more stable. There is a laissez-faire style. Laissez-faire style is that in this the persons delegate completely and do not interfere. So you identify a person under you and you see that he's a competent person. You give him some work and give him complete freedom to do whatsoever. In fact, you are not in the scene altogether. Even he needs some kind of help or some kind of discussions, you are still not available. He is making his own decision, right or wrong. Such kind of freedom and such kind of trust, you can say, such kind of freedom which is given to the person after giving the work, that is a laissez-faire kind of leadership you may exercise in some cases. Other is bureaucratic. Bureaucratic is more process oriented, procedure oriented. So you have defined some process and you think that those processes should be honored all the time. Many times the people get frustrated with this, that if the people see that they need to do something which is not required, but that's the style. Manipulative is the best style anybody can emulate. In this, everything is stage managed. The leader with all his subordinates will tell that what and how to speak, what to speak, when to speak, how to present. So very simple example, there is a leader and his manager is visiting. So to show that everything is going fine, this manager will tell this, that you have to ask this question. Will tell him that what is the answer he has to give, what question people have to ask the manager, when the manager asks what answers they have to give. So everything is pre-scripted. Nobody will go beyond a script. Everything will stick to script. When the manager will come, if he is simple like visiting, not in-depth visitor, then it's quite possible that even everything is bad in the project, but everything looks very good. The last is the expert. Expert, you have little to do, but you are an expert in one of the area and therefore people follow you. You have a special expertise and in that area, whatever you say, people follow you. So this is not especially you need to do something, but you earn this over a period of time by demonstrating your expertise in a specific area. So it is area limited to area, but it is one of the best leadership style. So which one to take when? That all depends. I think this is something which you avoid every time. Do not even think of. Bring it down as much as possible. Bring it down as much as possible. Keep it up as much as possible. Be selective in this. This can be done all the time. Now with basis on this, you see basis of power. Power means your leadership style, your way of leading the people. So the same thing is formulated in a different way. When you assume a position, when you take up a position, or when you participate in some of the activity, when you are team member or leader or whatsoever, you get some kind of power in your hand by way of position or because you have earned it. One is coercive or the penalty. This is due to position, because as soon as you assume as become a project manager, you have the authority, or you were given the authority that you can penalize some of the team members. As soon as you lose this position, your power will also go. Reward, the same thing, opposite to penalty is a reward. So because you are in the position, you can give reward. If you are not in the position, you cannot. This is formal or legitimate, means you are in the position, you have inherited some skills because of this position, and those power you have to use. Like if somebody is not doing something, you can tell him that I am a project manager, you're supposed to follow me, please do that. That is something, it is a need of the project. This is what you're supposed to do, please do. So even there is no consultation in some cases. The others are expert and referent. Expert, as I just explained, the expert, you have earned it. You have understood, you have an expertise in particular area, and therefore whenever you present an opinion, whenever you go in that field, other team members basically follow you. Even your boss may follow you because he knows that you are an expert, and what you are going to do is much better than what you do. The last one is the referent one. The referent is something is similar to expert, but it is more versatile. It is something the power a true leader normally have. Like Mahatma Gandhi, you can say a simple, very close example is Mahatma Gandhi, because he doesn't ask anybody to follow him. He doesn't ask anybody to do. Moreover, he ends up doing things for the other people. But wherever he goes, people go along with him, because he has won the trust of people by doing his job, by showing his honesty, by showing his integrity, by demonstrating various kind of behavior. He has earned the trust of the people, and they believe that this is the true leader, and they are following him. Now, which one is good, which one is bad? Hello? Hello? Are you getting me? Hello? Okay. Getting me? So referent power is something which is by demonstrating your behavior you acquire it. You win the trust of the people. So people follow you. Whatever you say, they say, okay, this is right. This is true. So that is now which one to use when all power can be used and you are normally used some point of time. But if you want to win respect in your team, use them as much as possible and use these things as less as possible. If you want to win the respect among your team members, when you want to be a true leader, use these two power as much as possible. Try to win the trust of the people by demonstrating your behavior truly, not by just manipulating it. Now, use penalty, reward and legitimate power as less as possible. So in a simple manner, if I say, use your position power as less as possible, use your earned power as much as possible. It is 8:45. What do you feel? We should call it for a day. End of session. Okay. I think let's do that. Not a problem. We have in earlier
Okay.
occasions we took some more time and we committed that someday we will save that 15 minutes. Right? So I think
This is the advantage of increasing communication from both of you. This is the immediately.
Sure. So we can definitely close for today and we'll
Right.
meet at 6 o'clock. What I suggest you that if you can come 5-10 minutes before 6 o'clock, we are having a quorum at before 6 o'clock, we can start exactly at 6 o'clock and save time and definitely we can have like little similarly we can finish early also. And come with your questions. You were telling about some of the questions are confusing, so send me the list in the advance.
That is actually kept in my office. I'm not sure. Lalit, can we work it out on Monday and next session? Can we give it on next Saturday?
You can do it any times. I just fear that we should not accumulate too many questions at that time, or it will be too late.
Yeah, there are no too many. There are few questions. I mean, maybe.
See that in the morning, if you can come together for a couple of minutes and can list down those things, I think we can discuss. Otherwise, next week is also fine for me. Anytime it is.
Okay, fine, not a problem. Not a problem. Sure.
Okay, and your quizzes are all enabled. So you have the quizzes up to human resource development plan enabled on the site.
Great. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Great.
Fine. So good night. Thank you for being here and see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Good night. Have a wonderful weekend.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye. Good night.